Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
And we are covering breaking news this noon involving the city in crisis. We are now learning that Judge William Collette has denied the Detroit City Attorney's appeal over the consent agreement lawsuit. Let's get right over to Jim Kirshner with the breaking developments on this. Jim, what does it all mean?
Guy, this has been a much anticipated ruling coming from Lansing here at City Hall in Detroit. This is the ruling. We are told the judge was actually on vacation this week, but came back in to issue this ruling. It is short and sweet. Take a look at the pertinent part. This is the bottom line. The court, having reviewed the memoranda supplied by the city attorney on the very last day that it could be considered, finds no basis to revisit its ruling and hereby denies the motion. Now, right after Crystal Crittenden was tossed out by Lansing Judge William Collette last month, she told me right here in the hallway at City Hall that judge got it wrong.
The judge did not read the new charter provisions.
The city attorney can act on her own under the new Detroit City Charter passed by voters in the wake of the Kilpatrick scandal. She was praised by many on city council as being courageous. She sued to question the legality of the consent agreement to manage the city's financial crisis. Crittenden said it was not valid because the state owes the city millions. State officials and Mayor Dave Bing say her action could force the city into bankruptcy because it creates more financial instability. Mayor Bing wanted her fired by city council, but there were not the 6 of 9 votes needed. Bing has called Crittenden rogue.
I've been called much more than rogue, but yeah, I do disagree with that term. I was doing what the charter requires that I do.
Back out here live, will she continue to do what the charter dictates to her? She could still appeal this now to the Court of Appeals, saying the Lansing judge got it wrong under the new city charter. One of the council members who voted against the consent agreement, Andre Spivey, just walked through and said if he were her, he would appeal. And by the way, council has a special session this afternoon at 2 o'clock to discuss the city attorney. We will be here, let you know what happens. We're live at City Hall. Jim Kirshner, Local 4.
All right, Jim, it will be interesting to see how they respond. Now, if you would like to read the judgment in its entirety, all you need to do is head to clickondetroit.com. It's right there for you on the homepage. Also today, we're learning more about the Jane Bashira murder investigation. Handyman Joe Gentz, of course, charged with the Grosse Pointe woman's death. A court-ordered exam found Gentz competent to stand trial, but new at noon, he's heading back to court, where the results of a second exam is expected to be released. Joining us live in Detroit, Local 4 defender Hank Winchester with what we can expect today with this new exam. Hank?
Guy, good afternoon, and this is not your typical court hearing. This is big, and let me explain to you why. Once the judge says that Joe Gentz is fit to move on to trial, that he has passed the second competency exam, well, it basically sets up the opportunity for prosecutors to hammer out a deal with Gentz and move on to possibly charging Bob Bashira. This is all going to play out here right behind me inside 36th District Court in about an hour. Take a look at some video of Joe Gentz. This is the man at the center of the issue. As you know, Joe Gentz, the handyman, charged in the murder of Grosse Pointe wife and mother Jane Bashira. Bob Bashira, Jane's husband, remains locked up right now just across the street here from court, accused of hiring a hitman to take out the handyman. Well, today we are going to be in court as Joe Gentz makes his way here to 36th District. Again, we are expecting the judge to rule that the findings of the second competency exam are fine, that Joe Gentz can testify in a trial, and this really sets up the opportunity for the prosecution to work out a deal with Joe Gentz, allowing Gentz to possibly testify at a later date against Bob Bashira. Of course, we're going to be streaming this live on klickondetroit.com. I'll be in the courtroom within the hour. We'll have live reports on later editions of Local 4 News. For now, we're live here in downtown Detroit. I'm Local 4 defender Hank Winchester. Guy, back to you.
All right, opening a whole new chapter, Hank. Thank you. And make sure that you do stay with Local 4. We'll be live streaming that hearing on klickondetroit.com. Again, that begins at 1:30 p.m. You can also head to the Defenders page of our website for much more information on the Bashira murder investigation and for Hank's report. Governor Rick Snyder has ordered U.S. flags to be lowered to half-staff today in honor of Army Staff Sergeant Matthew Leach. The 29-year-old Sergeant Leach of Ferndale died in Afghanistan June 26th. His funeral is today, and Roger Weber is live in Holly with more on this hero and the accolades that he's getting. Roger?
Guy, I'm at the Great Lakes National Ceremony. You can see the procession is going by right now for this final commitment ceremony for Sergeant Matthew Leach. This husband and father had already done 2 tours in Iraq while with the Army. He was deployed to Afghanistan with the Army Reserves. One of the last pictures he appeared in was with his 7-month-old son. His wife, Sarah, told us earlier that her husband had 2 loves, being a dad and being a soldier defending his country.
Emailed us about how happy he was, and things are going great for him, so it makes me feel better that he was happy. You know, it's not great for the rest of us, but we're gonna get through, and we love him, and there's so many people that love him. Just want him to know that his dad did what he loved, and he had a great life, and everyone loved him, and he loved them, and he loved his son very much, and he was doing everything for him. So I just want to know he's a hero, and we love him, and he had a great life.
This cemetery opened in 2005, and already 15,000 soldiers are buried here, service going all the way back to World War I. At this commitment ceremony, there will be a rifle volley. I see a bagpiper there. Also, there will be a presentation of the flag to the family. The cemetery director tells me that Sergeant Leach was often here at this identical spot as part of an honor guard helping grieving families. And now today, this fallen soldier is laid to rest. Reporting live near Holly, I'm Roger Weber, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Roger. We are also following the story of a young man critically injured in an overnight fire on Detroit's northeast side. This happened in the 20,000 block of Buffalo early this morning. Firefighters pulled 19-year-old Demetrius Brown out of that fire. We're told that he was asleep on a couch in the home when the fire broke out. He reportedly suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns on 90% of his body, so he has a real struggle ahead to survive. Arson investigators believe the fire may be drug or gang related. A train hauling an agricultural chemical derailed near the Ohio State Fairgrounds early this morning. A 1-mile radius of that crash was evacuated after the derailment exploded and caught fire. And this is video of the scene where 11 cars did go off the tracks. The Red Cross has set up shop there, helping the residents with food and blankets and a safe place to stay. That's just southeast of the Ohio State University campus. Big day today on Belle Isle. Today's the 30th annual Metro Detroit Youth Day. Nearly 30,000 kids are gathering for all kinds of activities, from workshops and sports clinics to games. 14 universities around the island to talk to teenagers and try to encourage them to get ready to enter college. And speaking of college, up to 81 scholarships are being given out, with one worth as much as $1,000. So some real help there for families. And Andrew, I can't imagine a more perfect day weather-wise for that event. And for information on the temperatures in your area and everything weather-wise, make sure to head to justweather.com, powered by clickondetroit.com. The 103rd running of the APBA Gold Cup is this weekend. Talking about those super fast hydroplane boats. Local 4 is giving away tickets to that event. The unlimited hydroplanes will race at speeds up to 200 miles per hour on the Detroit River. And you can enter for your chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the APBA Gold Cup. Just go to the contest page of clickondetroit.com to enter. Well, if you like Slurpees, you're going to want to stay tuned. Coming up at noon, how to grab a free one today. But first, the Penn State sex scandal continues. 2 former university leaders head to court today, accused of lying to a grand jury. What they were accused of hiding next.